Hello, hello. Welcome back to Password. We're in the forest. Yes. When I came to, I was in the woods. Everything was hurting, but I picked myself up and started walking. No one was around, just me and my heavy breathing. It was dark, cold, and I had the feeling something was very wrong. It took me longer than it should have to realize I was bleeding. I feel that sometimes. Blood was seeping from a wound on my body. A blood-covered hand came up to sit in front of my face, a grim smile forming soon after. Something told me I knew everything about what just happened, why I was injured, but I couldn't open my mouth to ask. Stumbling into the makeshift campsite, I collapsed again, listening out into the dark. My blood ran cold while I heard the sing-song voice of someone I hoped I didn't have to face. Dave, where did you go? Soon after was his manic cackling, echoing through the woods. I know you're out there. As much as my injuries would allow, I scrambled forward to move on from the river. Something was pushing me towards the house. Orlando? I coughed, blood splattering against the tree I was leaning against while I turned my head. Far off into the distance, I could make out lights. It had to be the mansion. Further out into the distance, I could hear Jack laughing. He seemed to be moving away from me rather than pursuing me, and I sighed. Though doing so sent a jolt of pain up through my chest. Jolt of pain up through my chest, I continued. Okay. My pace slowed, my vision blurred. I could see someone approaching me in the dark, but it was hard to make out exactly who it was. Maybe I'd given up, or maybe I'd known already, but with how deep the smell of blood was in my nose, I couldn't tell. Oh, hi. There you are. My eyes dipped, down to the gun in his hand. Dean? I coughed again. He stepped closer. Then everything went black again. When I next opened my eyes, I was laying on my bed. My face hurt. I could smell blood on my face, but I seemed to have control over my body this time. There we go, actual music. I can now adjust the audio. I had to change something between recording sessions. It's fine. I flexed my fingers and reached out to the mass of small things woven through a piece of string. As I turned the makeshift friendship bracelet in my hand, I sighed again, this time in relief. Tyson's room. I was in Tyson's room. Or maybe it was closer to our room now. If anything, the most distressing thing wasn't being able to smell anything other than blood, rather than that familial scent that I associated him with, given I was surrounded by things he touched. How did I end up here? Was I even still in the same timeline? Were there other timelines? As I sat up with a groan, my eyes slowly went towards the door to the room. The faint creak of it hinted that someone was on the other side, and a moment later it opened. Ty? Upon seeing me conscious, he ducked his head out of the room before snapping the door shut. Then he marched over to the bed and dropped himself down next to me. What did the rat do to you? What? Found you passed out downstairs, after he told me where you were. Oh, Volt things? Bullshit. No, it's kinda true. I don't really know what happened. We were talking and then that was it. Tyson grumbled, but he seemed satisfied that I wasn't lying to him. I could tell from the wrinkle in his nose he was just worried, though. I'll be okay. Have you seen your face? What's wrong with my face? What happened to it? You're covered in your own blood, Dave. I am? Yeah, probably landed on your nose or something. But outside of that, I can't see anything wrong with you. Oh, well, that's good, I guess. Brought you something to eat. You've been out for a while. How long? It didn't seem like I was out that long. Not that you'd have a way to know. Way of knowing. But you missed dinner. Oh. Don't worry. I grabbed you something just in case. He handed over a foil-wrapped bundle, yes, and I gingerly took it while trying not to breathe in through my nose. Where's Thanatos? Fuck if I know. You hungry or want a shower or what? Ty, can we talk about something? What? About what happened today. What do you think of all that? Look, there isn't anything else I can say that I didn't already. I want you safe. I want to take you home. If I could, I'd drag you down the mountain myself, but with the road out. Not to mention leaving everyone else behind. If I'm being honest, I don't care. If you're safe and we get out, then I'm happy. Although, if we can get Haas out too, that'd be a bonus. None of the others? I know you want everyone safe, but if push comes to shove, then I'm picking only who I care about. Anyone else is a bonus. Right. You don't have to say it, I know. In 2 days, we're just going to go through a repeat of all this again, aren't we? Is there anything I can do? I don't think there's anything any of us can do. It's now just a waiting game. Hope things turn out. And we can get out, right? Right. I handed him back the food he'd brought me, and I struggled out of bed. Yes, that's what that says. I'm gonna have a shower first. As I stepped away, Ty grabbed my wrist and held right. Listen, I love you, yeah. And I love you too, Ty. When I'm done, we can just cuddle, I guess. I was exhausted, sore, and after I'd eaten more sleepy than I'd given myself credit for. Part of me was half expecting that he'd ask to do something more, and I sure as hell could feel it. Would explain why he spent a while in the bathroom after a while and returned just as sleepy as I was in just boxers. Yes, okay. It was not long after that I passed out again. This time, though, hopefully, it'd be a dreamless sleep. Okay. The day played through my mind, not solid enough to form a dream about it, but the events still rang true. The dream, Dom, the talk, Oswin's deal, and the fact we were on a 2-day timer until we'd been seeing Dom again, and just with Oswin and Roswell leaving one of which not coming back. But 2 days, that's all we had until the next event was going to happen. Was it a lot of time or just a little? The idea kept bouncing in my head between the two, the more I thought about it. Okay. As I opened my eyes, I took a moment to adjust, carefully looked at the ceiling, and flexed each of my fingers in turn, making sure that I wasn't asleep. I felt silly that that's what it had come to, but I breathed out knowing I was properly awake. Tyson was sprawled out on his back, leg twitching every now and again. He seemed to be having a nice dream with a slight smile on his face. Ty? I saw his face scrunched up briefly as I whispered his name a second time, but soon enough, he had the gentle smile on his face again, hinting that he was still asleep. Seeing his smile brought one to my face too. Even with things going on, he was able to smile, to find something to be happy about, even if he was dreaming. I wondered what he was dreaming about, but I was sure I would find out later. As I got dressed, I looked out the window. Part of me wondered if I was if I was going to catch Dom or even Jack sneaking up to the house the longer I stared. But it was just green, no pale white or ashy gray lingering out of place. I looked over to Tyson, who had sprawled out further across the bed, and I wandered over to lightly kiss him on the side of his muzzle. "Dave." He reached out for me sleepily and was happy placing his hand on my face. Not that he said anything more about that. His hand fell away near immediately, and he resumed snoring. I left Ty there to sleep, not wanting to bother him if he was finding some happiness with everything going on. From what I could see, Dean was outside near the back door with a mug of coffee. I would have said hello, but the prospect of coffee was too strong. You could have just had some of his, right? Share with Dean. The moment I stepped into the kitchen, I made for the pot of coffee and got myself sorted. Rationing out a little of the milk from the refrigerator, I took my coffee a little darker than usual. Not that it mattered when the bitter flavor hit my tongue. The warmth and the jolt of endorphins just came from my favorite drink and gave me the jump I needed to properly wake up. Though not bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, I could feel myself start to take stock of a bit easier. Tomorrow, at some point, Roswell and Oswin would head off with Dom. Then it was a waiting game for Roswell to come back, and we'd be able to go home. It didn't really sit all that well with me, but it wasn't as if I had a say in it. Going to the pantry, I was reminded of our food situation. Best not to touch anything in our case. Excuse me. Wait, where was? Anything in case Orlando already had plans for every little thing in here. Plans to make breakfast went out the window. Oh. The faint tapping on his foot on the counter clued me into him being there before I turned around, but there he was all the same. "What are you doing?" "Thinking." "About?" "Stuff. Stuff and things. Think stuff." "Stop that." "What else am I supposed to do?" "Making yourself useful seems like a good start." "And how am I meant to be doing that exactly? Dom is coming tomorrow, right? If we play nice, then we can get off the mountain, right?" "You'd think you had listened to what I said yesterday. He's variable." "I still don't really know what you mean by that. Things went all right yesterday. He listened to you. We just have to wait." "You really think it's going to be that simple?" "I hope it will be." "What about Jack, then?" "What about him?" "You think he's just going to let all of you walk off the mountain? I think Memphis will do the same." "Yes?" "Well, that's why I said it's variable. Sometimes they don't." "Even after Dom made his deal?" "Who do you think you're dealing with, Junior? Really?" "It's not like I've had to make deals or talk to the Mafia before. I don't know how this works. I'm just scared. I want to go home. I want to keep my friends safe." "Then think about how you're going to do that." "Can't you just tell me what's not worked already?" "Not doing anything doesn't work. That's a clue." I growled, stepping closer to him, but he took a couple steps back as if expecting me to do something. "I hate how you make me feel, by the way. Like I don't have a say in anything. Like I don't have any control. None of this bad stuff would be happening if you weren't here." "You really think so?" "I know so. If you weren't a thing, then Memphis wouldn't be trying to get you. People wouldn't have to die to test how this thing works. Who knows what else?" "Take that back. You don't know anything, Dave." "I know enough." I was assaulted by sound. Yep, okay. That made me buckle, but not pass out. "You know nothing. You can't even comprehend how many times I've had to watch all of you die. How many times I've been left alone for countless years until I woke up the next time around to do it all again." I look up at him, standing at the edge of the counter. The same conversations, the same questions, and all for what? I don't... I'll tell you what it wasn't for, Dave. It wasn't to spend eternity solving the problem that has no answer. I don't know. Then when I ask you about Jack, what are you going to do? What is going on in here? Orlando? Oi. Talk some sense into Dave. Thanatos, the hell did you do to him? I was pulled from the ground and dusted off. Orlando adjusted the coffee cup in his hand before huffing at the rat at the counter. Nothing that wasn't necessary. I find that hard to believe. He wants me to think about what I'm doing about Jack. What? Did I hear that correctly? I turned to look at Roswell, who seemed out of it, stumbling into the room slightly. You look terrible. Rude. Yeah, I feel terrible. But what about it? But what was it about Jack? Is he here? Not yet. At the rate we're going, it's unlikely. That's good, right? Roswell, sit down. You look like you're about to collapse. I'll be fine. If he's not sitting down in the next minute, he's going to be on the floor and chip one of his tusks. You're bluffing. Wait and find out then. And, but what about the Jack thing? Are we in danger? Orlando caught Roswell as he started to wobble. The minute wasn't close to being up, but I looked across at Thanatos. We should talk, shouldn't we? Are you willing to listen? I still don't trust you, Thanatos. Well, good thing we pivoted away from you being able to help anyone is a long time back. Sal, Haas, and Dean are outside. Tyson will be down shortly and join them. I'll be taking Dave for a bit. What about me and Orlando? What about you and Orlando? Like... Oh, look, it's my two least favorite routes. Being left out. Not having a fun time with the pals outside. Rest or whatever, and Dave will fill you in later. For what I think was the first time, Thanatos led the way out of the kitchen towards the front door, not by climbing onto my shoulder, but walking along the floor ahead of me. How was he walking? No. Like, is he walking on, like, just his back legs and walking while, like, sitting up straight? Or is he, like, crawling on all fours? This is an important question. I want to know. I opened the door for him and he stepped out first, with me closing the door behind us soon after. My hand was shaking and I sipped at my coffee, looking out at the trees, trying to spot anything Thanatos seemed to be looking for. I owe you an apology. Am I going to get one? What do you think? Probably not. Well, at least you've got that right. Level with me. Do you hate me? All of us? That's complicated. Yo, say. He's the best, right? Like he's just. That's not an answer. Why does it matter how I answer? What you think of me, and what I think of you, you lot, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, all things considered. Outside of you needing us to help you anyway. Naturally, but we're so close, so painfully close. To be the end. I sat down on the steps leading up to the front door to Thanatos and continued to drink my coffee. You're talking about our escape. It goes well then. It can, but that's yet to be seen. Things still need to happen. I'm just going to assume you're either going to tell me specifically what I need to do, or tell me literally nothing. And I'm just meant to figure it out. If you haven't gathered already, you need to have a plan for Jack. How can you even plan around him? He's fast, has a knife. More than one, actually. Unless you can science me up some magical knife-proof armor, I don't think I have what it takes to deal with that. I've been trying to find a reasonable solution myself. A reliable solution. Keeping Dominic alive has worked so far. Because he can keep his work buddy in check? Don't underestimate how much that bear wants an easy job. You're not going to outbid Memphis, but if you can make his life easier while still getting Memphis what he wants, Dom will make sure it happens. But what if Dom isn't around? Then we have a problem. So we need a contingency plan? Unless you're keen on getting stabbed. I drank deep from my coffee, trying to think about it. Could we set a trap? Would a weapon be useful? Escaping? Looking down into my empty cup, I wondered where I could draw some inspiration from. Well, I don't want anyone to get stabbed. One of you is going to... One of you is going to need to be stabbed, though. Maybe a little. Make it Roswell. Need? Who? Why? Doesn't matter who, but if someone's going to take the fall, they assume Roswell will get in the way like he normally does. And if I don't want Roswell stabbed, you offering to take his place? I didn't like the idea of getting stabbed, but I didn't like the idea of others getting hurt more. Careful, Junior. Show any more courage, and I'll think you're developing a hero complex. It's not that. I just want my friends to be safe. Yeah, I know. Heard that enough times that it's basically imprinted by now. Not as if telling you to give up and letting them die is going to be much different. What? What did you say? What? Were you the reason I was thinking those things? I don't know what you're talking about. The thing. Tell me to give up. To let my friends die. If only. Oh, this is good dialogue. I reach out to grab him and he just hopped backwards out of reach. Careful, Dave. You know something, don't you? I knew what happened the moment everything went black. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I swore at Thanatos' ability to just knock me out whenever he wants. At least I was getting used to the sensation and knew what was happening. Oh, okay. Well, I think we'll end the part here. That sounds good. We can explore the creepy mill later. Yeah. I'll see you around, everyone.